Land of Canaan, there was a man named Jacob who had 12 sons, and one of those sons was named Joesph. Jacob loved Joesph more than any of his other sons, and Joseph's brothers knew this. Joesph was so loved that his father Jacob gave him a very special coat, which added to the jealousy and hatred. Joesph had a very special gift from God, with the ability that he could decipher dreams. Joesph would have dreams where his family would bow down to him because he was a king, and his brothers didn't like that at all. One day, Joseph's brothers were in the desert and decided to conspire against Joesph and wanted to kill him. But his brother Reuben convinced them to just throw him into a well, so they did just that.
Hey, Judah, Reuben. Father sent me to check up on you guys. What's wrong?
Well, you see, Joesph, you've been a very, very big thorn in our side. You know, you think you're better than us, how you treat us, how Father treats you.
Do you think we'll ever bow before you? No, this is now.
No, please don't do this. I'm your brother. It was just a dream.
Excuse me, fine gentlemen. Yeah. Would you like to buy a slave?
Oh, a slave, you say? I like this idea.
Joseph's brothers sold Joesph to some Ishmaelites, and Joesph was taken to Egypt, where he was a servant to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officers who had much authority. Potiphar saw that the Lord was with Joesph, and Joesph thrived in Egypt as Potiphar's servant. But one day Potiphar's wife tricked Joesph and blackmailed him, and Potiphar was so upset that he sent Joesph to jail with 2 others. But even though Joesph was in jail, the Lord helped him do all things well. In the prison was the king's cupbearer and the king's baker. After some time had passed, the 3 were united. The 2 officers had been having bad dreams for many days, and it was the same dream over and over again. Once Joesph heard about this, he knew what he had to do.
No, you can't do this. It was an accident. It was one moldy bread. Come on. Oh, man. It's so miserable stuck in this prison, and it's cold and it's wet. And to make it even worse, we keep having these awful dreams.
What dreams?
Why would we tell you?
Well, I can interpret dreams. It's a gift from God. They might not be good things, but I can interpret them whatever they are.
What a load of hooey. What? I don't know, man. What if he's telling the truth?
I can go outside of this palace, and within 50 feet, I can find 5 people that claim they can interpret dreams.
Well, I don't know. This guy seems a little different. Maybe we should listen to him.
Well then, tell me a dream.
Okay. Okay then. My dream starts off with 3 vines. And from these 3 vines, 3 branches grow. And from these branches grow flowers and grapes looking really good. So I got the grapes and I got the king's cup. And I squeezed the grapes into the king's cup. What does this mean?
The 3 branches represent 3 days. In 3 days, you will be Pharaoh's cupbearer once again, and everything will be as it was. But please, when you get out of this prison, remember me and tell Pharaoh about me so that I can get out of this place.
Thank you. I will. Now, come on. Tell him about your dream.
Let me think about it. No.
What? Come on. Just tell him your dream already.
Okay. Well, in my dream, I had 3 baskets of bread on top of my head, and there were all kinds of bread for the king. And birds came, and they ate the bread off of my head.
The 3 baskets also signify 3 days. But in 3 days, you will be sentenced to death by Pharaoh.
What? I can't believe this. I can't believe you make me tell him.
My bad, bro.
Little did the 2 officers know, Joseph's dreams would become reality. The cupbearer returned to Joseph's right hand, and the baker was executed. Even though Joesph had asked the cupbearer to remember Joesph and tell Joesph about him, the cupbearer did not. Joesph stayed in prison for another 2 years. But even though he was all alone, he did not abandon his faith. God was still with him every step of the way, and every action, every thought Joesph had in those 2 years was for a reason. After the 2 years had passed, Pharaoh had a terrible dream. He called all the magicians and all the wise men he knew, but none could decipher Joseph's dream. Finally, the cupbearer remembered Joesph and told the Pharaoh what had happened in prison. And Pharaoh requested Joesph immediately.
You are Joesph.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I have heard you can find meaning behind dreams.
I cannot interpret dreams, Your Grace. God does. He simply works through me.
I have asked all my magicians, all my wise men about this confounding dream that I've been having that has been plaguing my mind for a while now. I must know the meaning behind this dream. In this dream, I was standing by the river Nile. After I had stand, there were 7 cows that had come out of the river. These cows were fat and good to look at. They went aside the river Nile and they ate the grass. After the first 7 came another 7 group of cows. These cows were thin and not good to look at. These 7 groups of cows came alongside the fat cows and ate them.
Is that all?
No. After the first dream, the second comes. There was 7 groups of grain that was growing on a branch. These 7 grains were fat and good to look at. After the first 7 groups of grain came another. These grains were thin and not good to look at, for they had been burned by the east wind. After that, these 7 grains of thin grain had eaten the 7 groups of fat grain. That is all.
Both the dreams have the same meaning. God has shown you what will come. The 7 good cows represent 7 years of good harvest and plentiful in the land of Egypt. And the 7 bad cows represent 7 years of famine that will come after the 7 good years. If I were you, I would choose a man you trust and make him collect 1/5 of the food produced during the 7 good years and put them aside in storage, so that when the 7 bad years come, Egypt will have enough food to be able to survive the famine.
You come before me with such certainty, such knowledge and wisdom, for this can only come from the Spirit of God. You are the most clever person in all of Egypt. For this, I will grant you authority over all my palace, for only I will be greater than you, for I am king.
Joesph was once again put into a position of power, but this time even greater, for he had followed God's task and always stayed obedient, even in the worst of times. During the 7 years of obedience, Joesph became married and started a family. Once the 7 years of famine had hit Egypt was prepared, and Egyptians were coming from all over to get food for their families.
How many are you? 5, sir. You are not registered, and you do not seem familiar.
Please, sir, our family is hungry, and our father dedicated some of the grain to this storage. He is sick, and our mother is taking care of him at home.
Please, sir, we need this food.
Yeah, if anything, give us our food back, and we'll get going.
Are you threatening me?
What's going on here?
Your Majesty, these 3 do not seem familiar.
Nonsense. I recognize them just fine. Give them enough food for 6 people and their troubles.
Yes, Your Majesty.
You've done well, Joesph.
I do not do well. God has simply blessed me so that I can help the people.
You're absolutely right.
Look at all these people, taken care of because of God's mercy
And his mercy towards you.
towards all of us.
Please, sir. Our father's home with our youngest brother, and we need food for our family. You must help us.
You are not Egyptian. Where are you from?
Your Highness, we are from Canaan, a place not far from Egypt, and this famine has depleted our food, and we came to get some for our family.
Your father is at home?
Yes, with their youngest brother, Benjamin.
You dare lie to my face?
No, sir.
You are lying. You came here to spy on the land of Egypt and see how your army could attack us.
We do no such thing.
If what you are saying is true, return home and bring me your younger brother, Benjamin.
Your Highness, what will us bringing our youngest brother here prove?
It will show me that you are not lying, that you are not my enemies, and then I will give you all the food you need. But until you return, I will take this one into custody. Guard, arrest this man. Now go.
Joesph, why did you do that?
They They are my brothers.
What?
My brothers. They sold me into slavery, and I was brought here into Egypt. What they did to me, I can never forgive.
Joesph, I can't even begin to imagine how you feel. After what all of your brothers have done to you, after so many years. But God is doing this for a reason. He's giving you an opportunity. Ever since the beginning, since prison, since all you have been through, God is giving you an opportunity to forgive all of your brothers. Just forget about what they've done to you in the past. It might be hard, but you can still forgive them.
And Joesph did forgive. He forgave all of the actions his brothers did to him. And he was actually very excited to see his brothers again. The brothers returned to their father in Canaan. And Jacob told his sons to take gifts to Joesph, so nothing bad would happen. And they did just that.
Your Highness, we thank you for sparing us. We have brought you gifts.
Is this your younger brother, Benjamin?
Yes.
I pray that God blesses you, my son.
Your Majesty, if I may. Before Benjamin, we had another brother, but he was lost. My father almost couldn't take it when he heard the news. He was given another son before my mom passed away. If my father would die if Benjamin died. And my father only lives because Benjamin lives. Please, allow us to get some food, and we will never bother you again.
Your brothers love you very much, but I too have not been fully truthful. Hello, brothers.
Joesph?
Yes, I am the one that you sold into slavery. But please, do not be upset. Do not be afraid, and do not be angry with yourselves, for God has turned this for the good. He has brought me here so that I can save the people of Egypt, so that I can save our family. Now please, let us come together again and become a family.
And with that, Joesph was reunited with his family. He may not have understood God's plan the entire time, but Joesph knew that he had to follow it and do what was right. In doing that, God didn't just bless him, but also his family. Jacob thought he would have to lose 2 sons, but in reality, he would see all his sons again, even Joesph, the king of dreams.